The things I like to see in a stock before I might pull the trigger. I got a list of 5 things I jotted down that I look at. So the first thing is a discount, and the discount is often in relation to my crude fundamentals based value, but sometimes it's just based on the chart. On the fundamental side of things, I'm looking at historical operating performance of up to 20 years if they have that much. Mostly I'm just focused on a few key things like the balance sheet, revenues, earnings and cash flow, gross and net margins, share count. On the technical side of things, the charts, they usually complement my fundamental analysis. They help me analyze trends and prevailing sentiment. So number 2, leverage. I don't shy away from leverage companies. The way I see it is that that's where some of the best opportunities are. At the same time, I often don't want to deal with the hassle of bankruptcy, so I'll spend a lot of my time assessing credit risk. There's a handful of financial metrics I look at. The yield on its publicly traded debt, if available, especially if it's trading out a couple of years and you see the prices in the tank, should be a red flag. A potential covenant breaches, the analysis of ratings agencies, if available. Who owns the debt? Especially if the company might be on the verge of bankruptcy. All right, so number 3, and this is a big one for me, insider buying. I weight this quite heavily, I've learned, especially during market sell-offs. A couple things I love to see: buying by prominent execs, buying by a large number of insiders. 3 to 4 is good. 5+ is better. And then finally, just seeing if the insiders are buying after the stock has sold off when it's potentially cheap at an inflection point. If the company is seemingly at an inflection point and they're buying, that could be an indication of something that's unfolding. So number 4, ownership. Generally, higher insider ownership is better. I like to see at least 20%. Insiders aside, I like when respectable like value shops and activist investors, when they own the stock and when they're actively buying. I like when knowledgeable analysts on Seeking Alpha and Twitter, I like when they share my views. A lot of them will comment, and when you ever come across somebody who seems knowledgeable, if they've written a good article, if they just seem insightful, track them. Follow what they say. And then the final thing is confidence. Like, how confident am I in this play? It's a simple introspective question, but I find it's just really helpful for keeping myself honest. It helps me decide whether a stock is a worthwhile buy, like how to size the position and whether it makes sense in the context of the portfolio. It's not always the goal to have high confidence plays. You may be in a play that's like a 20 or 30% confidence level, but the payout would be huge, right? But you balance it out with other positions, and it's always in the context of the portfolio.